It is big news that China intends to relocate 250 million people, or the full population of Indonesia, into its rapidly expanding megacities over the course of the next 10 years. Exciting, isn't it? The nation has made quite significant infrastructural investments, totaling more than billions of dollars to accommodate that large migration. While some are still being worked on, others have already been finished. China is demonstrating what it means to do huge things by building highways that cross the continent, the biggest wind energy base in the world, wildly popular airports, and new communities in the deserts. Without any further ado, let's take a peek into the wondrous construction world of Chinese projects. The Tang telescope. The telescope cost $180 million to build. The Chinese officials have frequently stated that it will elevate the nation to the top position in the world for radio astronomy. The administration hopes that by drawing attention to their initiatives in this way, tourists and new inhabitants will be drawn to the historically underdeveloped Guangzhou province. In some ways, it is a test of the viability of combining this kind of science with economic growth, which is odd considering they usually deliberately don't. Radio telescopes are used to detect radio waves from objects in space, such as gas clouds, galaxies, and quasars. Astronomers construct these enormous dishes to detect the weak signals because by the time those celestial objects' emissions reach Earth, they have dimmed to almost zero. However, due to their size, they are particularly susceptible to all radio waves, including those from short circuits, spark plugs, microwaves, Wi-Fi satellites, radar systems, cell phones, and pretty much everything else that runs on electricity or communicates. Scientists place their radio telescopes in distant areas for protection from radio frequency interference or RFI, such as the Chilean desert, Australia's outback, and the West Virginia highlands. Shanghai Synchrotron Radiation Facility. A third-generation synchrotron radiation light source, the Shanghai Synchrotron Radiation Facility, or the SSRF, will be a priceless resource for Chinese industry and scientific research. SSRF is currently the largest scientific platform in China for science research and technology development. Each day, more than 1,000 scientists and engineers from domestic and foreign universities, research centers, and businesses use SSRF to conduct research and other experiments. The majority of the SSRF projects' many subsystems deal with cutting-edge technology, including highly conductive RF and cryogenic, ultra-high vacuum, ultra-high precision digital power supplies, high-performing magnets and mechanical monochromator, beam diagnosis, advanced control systems, and advanced beam lines, among other things. To reach the goals that can store beam for several dozens of hours as well as provide synchrotron light for more than 5,000 hours per year, it is extremely difficult to develop and integrate systems. This is especially true when it comes to how to keep the accident rate very low on the assumption that all systems are performing as intended. The Guangzhou Opera House. The Guangzhou Opera House blends seamlessly with its riverbank setting. At the center of the Guangzhou's cultural advancement is the Opera House. By opening the city up to the Pearl River and connecting the nearby cultural structures to the towers of global finance in Guangzhou's Zhujiang New Town, its distinctive twin boulder design strengthens the metropolis. The Opera House's 1,800-seat auditorium features the most up-to-date acoustic equipment, while the multipurpose hall's smaller 400-seat space is intended for opera, performing arts, and in-the-round concerts. The concept of a natural landscape and the fascinating interaction between architecture and nature, involving the laws of erosion, geology, and topography, were the starting points for this design. The Guangzhou Opera House served as the impetus for the growth of the city's cultural institutions, including new museums, libraries, and archives. The Opera House design represents the most recent iteration of Zaha Hadid architect's groundbreaking investigation of contextual urban relationships, fusing the historical cultural legacies of Guangzhou with the aspirations and optimism that will shape its future. The Kinling Tunnel. The Kinling Tunnel of the Xi'an-Ankang Railway, which has a total length of 18 kilometers, was constructed beginning in 1995 and was finished in 2005 when it was the second longest railway tunnel in Asia. It was first employed in construction to use the tunnel boring machine. It received the Luban Award for Civil Engineering in Construction, the Zhan Tianyu Award for Civil Engineering, and the first prize for National Science and Technology Progress. Hainan Power Grid Project. one of the 14th five-year plan's themes is promoting the construction of high-quality electricity facilities. Southern Power Grid of China, a work plan recently released by Hainan Power Grid Company, focuses on assuring power supply, supporting important national policies, building a thorough demonstration province for a modern power system, and developing a pilot region for reform and innovation in the power industry. In 6 domains, 30 important measures were proposed. In order to best serve the needs of the citizenry in terms of electricity, Hainan Power Grid will swiftly complete significant projects like Haikou Mei'an gas power and Yangtze thermal power, strenuously help the creation of new energy, help Hainan achieve the dual carbon goal, and advance the 14th five-year plan. During that time, 3 million kilowatts of offshore wind power and 5 million kilowatts of solar electricity were freshly installed. In order to better support Hainan's efforts to build a clean, low-carbon, safe and efficient energy system, Hainan Power Grid also proposes to integrate into the province's comprehensive energy reform, continue to support the modernization and transformation of old revolutionary areas as power grids, and speed up the development of new energy in rural areas. China Central Television Headquarters. In the Beijing Central Business District, there is a tower called the CCTV Headquarters. The structure houses China Central Television's corporate offices. Building construction began on September 22, 2004 and was finished in December 2008, along with other magnificent designs completed in the time for the 2008 Beijing Olympics. The new China Central Television CCTV Headquarters, an iconic anti-skyscraper, has altered the architectural landscape of the nation's capital. Before the Games, for which CCTV served as the official broadcaster, the front of the leaning conjoined towers was finished and several areas inside the structure were made available to hold televised activities. The China government undertook the project as a part of a strategy to renovate central Beijing using cutting-edge and practical architecture while maintaining historic structures. Rem Koolhaas and Ole Sheerin of the Office for Metropolitan Architecture collaborated on the building's design after Beijing's International Tendering Company held a design competition that finished in December 2002. The Tianhuangping Hydroelectric Project, the largest hydroelectric pumped storage project of its kind in Asia, is being developed by East China Electric Power at Tianhuangping. In the central coastal region, which includes fast-growing Shanghai, it offers crucial protection from demand spikes. It is situated in Zhejiang's Anji County and has an 1800 megawatts installed capacity in total. Shanghai is located around 175 kilometers away. The new facility is essential for the stability of the entire East China power grid, for enhancing the standard of the power supply in East China, and for guaranteeing the safe operation of the nearby nuclear power plants. A low ratio of turbine output to pump input was necessary, since one important requirement was to fill the higher reservoir more quickly than usual. To reduce the possibility of issues like cavitation and to guarantee a turbine efficiency, neglecting head losses in the system of 90% or more, thorough computer analysis and model testing were done throughout the pump turbine hydraulic design stage. The overall cycle efficiency of the plant design was 70%. The Shanghai World Financial Center. The Shanghai World Financial Center is a multi-use skyscraper and one of the tallest structures in the world. The tower is situated next to the 88-story Jinmao Tower in the city's Pudong neighborhood. It has 101 floors and a height of 1,614 feet, and it was created by the New York City office of the American architectural company Kohn Pedersen Fox Associates. The structure took 11 years to construct, and it finally opened in 2008. It was the second highest skyscraper in the world when it was finished, only behind Taiwan's Taipei 101 structure. The Burj Khalifa building in Dubai, among other taller constructions, eventually overtook it. The Shanghai World Financial Center looks like a large square column with two of its sides beveled from opposite corners, starting about 1/3 of the way up and gradually tapering closer together until they nearly touch and create a narrow rectangle at the top. The building is supported by large diagonally braced corner columns of blended steel structures and concrete block in the external perimeter and the reinforced concrete inner core wall. The two structures are connected at various points where the exterior is covered in horizontal truss bands by radiating beams. The Baltic Pearl Project. Southwest of St. Petersburg, the Baltic Pearl project encompasses a full neighborhood and offers areas for social services, housing and business use. Several businesses from Shanghai, China are working together to develop and finance the entire project. The Shanghai Industrial Investment Company SIIC is the principal investor. Dixon discovered that the Shanghai city government provides the majority of the capital for SIIC. The Baltic Pearl, in addition to being the greatest Chinese-led project in Russia, is reportedly the largest investment project that Chinese companies have ever launched outside of their own country. The Baltic Pearl has consistently been promoted as European rather than Chinese and is being aimed for Russian citizens and enterprises, in contrast to other similar European ventures like Hamburg's China Center Europe and Rotterdam's European China Center. Russians were outraged and alarmed by early press reports that the complex had a Buddhist temple and a branch of the Peking Opera. In spite of the anti-Russian sentiment in the area, civil society organizations working on urban development have really no pretensions regarding the Baltic Pearl. The Shanghai Yangtze River Tunnel. The Shanghai Yangtze River Tunnel and Bridge project is situated near the Yangtze River mouth, South Channel and North Channel waterways, which is a significant portion of the National Expressway in the northeast of Shanghai. The Yangtze River mouth in China is a site of a very significant transportation infrastructure project that is also the world's largest tunnel and bridge combination project. The project's completion will further encourage Shanghai's development space, enhance Shanghai's traffic systems, structure and layout, develop resources in Chongming Island, accelerate Jiangsu province's northern economic development, boost Pudong's economic capacity, strengthen the Yangtze River Delta's economic integrity, and boom the region along the Yangtze River. The project was finally launched on December 28, 2004, and it was anticipated that traffic would begin in July 2010. It is anticipated that the bridge's main civil construction would be demolished in June 2008 and the tunnel in April 2009.